You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey everyone, this is Walter. Once again, I didn't expect to do a show on a Tuesday morning on January 12th, 2016. But lo and behold, here I am once more because there was a lot in the news I did not expect. And I decided to, it was enough to do another show. So, it has actually gotten pretty rough for me because, being home most of the time, trying to find things to do. I'm not saying it's impossible. I actually do have enough on my plate. One of the things that was kind of weird after I finished my show, because I was just finishing up and I had, put the finishing touches, put it up on my my Spreaker account so people who do listen can listen to me. It was kind of depressing, but then I found out that David Bowie had passed away just last night, or yesterday, I should say, at this point, at the age of 69. Now, right away, I woke up, actually, too, because it was a little bit after, finishing my show. I actually went to bed at a decent time, and then I couldn't sleep, so I woke up. And, I was like, oh, let me just turn on the computer real quick and see what's going on, and I didn't expect to see that. But I woke up my parents, because they're light sleepers. I said, hey, you wouldn't believe this. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock. And I think it happened around 1 day, announced that he passed away. And, they said that he died. And my mom said right away, because that's the first thing you think with David Bowie. It must have been something, because he was, kind of a wild guy, so to speak. So I was actually thinking the same thing. I didn't read the whole thing. And I said, my mother said, I woke her up because she wasn't really sleeping, believe it or not, even at that time. She goes to bed late like I do. She said, oh, was it, did he die probably from drugs overdose or something? And I said, yeah, probably, because, that's what you automatically expect. And here, lo and behold, it was not the truth. It was actually, he died from, basically he had terminal cancer of some sort, and he passed away because the cancer finally, so to speak, got the best of him. And then it made me actually think, though, too, because believe it or not too long ago, this woman who played the character of Sarah Jane Smith had died from cancer just a few years ago. Let's see if I can find it, because I can't remember her name. I think it was Sarah Sutton, but maybe not. Maybe it was something else. So, I just bumped my mic. Yeah, I am so bad with names, trust me. Even on shows I do like, on like shows, because that's from Doctor Who, who I just... Oh, okay, Elizabeth Sladen. She just passed away not too long ago, a couple years ago now. But, she was very popular on Doctor Who. But, yeah, she was another cancer victim. So, ironically, they're both British, too, so that's kind of unique in its own way, that they're both British and they both suffered from cancer. So I did post that. I'm just going to see. Okay, somebody just poked me, so to speak, on Facebook. I'm trying to look for that now. Yeah, David Bowie, had died after a long battle of cancer at the age of 69. I honestly, I didn't know that. It says it was 18 months that he was battling cancer. I mean, you thought cancer kind of, people still get cancer. I had a relative that had it. But he was one person I never expected to, if he was going to pass away, it would be because of that. So, that kind of had taken me by surprise. Like I said, actually, what made me want to do the show, I got interrupted earlier by myself. It's a joke from a friend, but this time it was really true. I actually interrupted myself. I got distracted. My one friend, Matt, Matt Torrance, he had sent me this article. And I'm trying to look for it. And it actually got me okay, I gotta see what's going on here. Okay, I just gotta let this play out. Hopefully, this does not show up on my. I don't think it will. It's from this guy named Paul Joseph Watson. He actually recommended I watch him before, and I honestly, it's just it's hard for me. It's not even my friend Matt or anyone else, but if somebody tells me to do something, my attention span is very short. I will admit to that. So this guy, he's got a lot of good stuff up. Again, I'll mention his name, Paul Joseph Watson. Had friend Matt knows, I like her music. I'll admit to that, Taylor Swift. And this guy, Paul, put up, Taylor Swift goes a full retard. And I watched part of it, and it was like, okay, it was kind of like, oh, God, this is painful. Because she was actually born in Pennsylvania somewhere, and she wasn't raised here, but she was born in Pennsylvania. And basically, he's just pointing out that the woman is, because she is a woman now, she's a complete idiot, which I hate to say. It says Taylor Swift has been brainwashed by the radical feminist leading to make some biblically retarded comments. So it's not that long, but it's about 6 minutes almost, not quite. 6.5 minutes, give or take. So that actually got me to watch something else, though, which I got to find now. And this one I would recommend, besides the one on basically Taylor Swift basically really being an idiot, which I hate to say. But I know my one friend did send me an article. It was a friend, Todd, that most of the pop music or the top music that you hear on the radio is at like a third or sixth grade level or something like that, as far as the language within the words for the songs. It's basically something that a third grader could do. I think it was probably, I'm being a little bit less. I'll have to see if I can find something on that. Let's see, grade level of music. Grade 1 beginner. Okay, maybe this is not the one I'm looking for. It's so buried now. Pop music lyrics average the third grade reading level. So there you go. I was trying to be a little sarcastic. Unfortunately, I'm not, but I think this might be a different article. Pop music lyrics average a third grade reading level by Orion Jones. So I'm going to put this on because it's not the one initially a friend had sent me. And God, I tell you, that was beyond an educated guess. The last time we've been talking about pop lyrics, Beyonce had just lost the Grammy for Best Album to Beck, and Kane Williams had interrupted yet another acceptance speech. So this might be a couple years old, but you kind of get the gist. Facebook was posting the side-by-side comparison of nominee lyrics, although that just one measure of Best Album, as the Guardian pointed out. I was going to say Guardians of the Galaxy. It's actually Guardians pointed out. Ultimately given the nod to Queen Bee. Not a very long order. Bottom line is, yeah, perhaps it's surprising when it came to song lyrics and country music pulled the other genres to above third grade level. Average is 3.3 reading level, while pop rock is at a 2.9 in R&B. Hip hop is ranked the lowest at a grade level 2.6. Actually, that's higher than I would give it. Yeah, they give that crap music 2.6. I think that's hilarious. But, I'm not much better because I listen to the pop music. I always have. I've been doing that since I was in my 20s. Now I'm almost pushing 50 and I still listen to it. It's just, I'd like to say it's not a good excuse. It's just a fact with me. I'm not going to deny it. I just like the music. So I liked Simple, Stupid. It wasn't that what Kiss always was about? Keep it simple, stupid. Well, I really do. So obviously, so does Taylor Swift. Anyway, as I check my levels and hope I don't get interrupted again tonight like I was last night 4 times. And this girl, actually, I thought her name was on there, but it's Paul Joseph Watson actually was interviewing this girl named Lauren Southern, and she's really good. She's a very attractive young woman, and this was last year. Basically, I had to thank her because this girl I would definitely recommend on top of what he puts up. This guy Paul, but she did what was titled. She titled her video. It's actually like 24 minutes almost. When Slut Walk Feminist Attack. With Lauren Southern. She basically is defending, not that she's directly defending everything I say, but in so many words or less, she's saying exactly what I'm doing, but you're getting it from a female perspective. That she was just, in my words, she's just basically saying this whole bullshit with women always being defensive and acting like they're victims, that they're being raped constantly in the West continent, the U.S. is a bunch of bullshit. So, I actually did watch that. I had a hard time getting through the shorter one, but hey, it helped because she's a very attractive young lady. But, two, and I feel really bad because I'm not going to try to read this bullshit that people are attacking her, because that's the problem that people don't realize. Unfortunately, there's a lot of men out there who, when she's actually speaking her mind and she's actually saying something that I've been saying for the past, since I've ever started doing these podcasts, she's saying the exact same thing. And I don't have a problem with it because I'm really, it was refreshing to hear a female say, hey, listen, this stuff is all bullshit, in so many words or less. So hearing her say that, is just like really, really refreshing. It's like, wow, once again, I have some hope, not only for a children's TV show that kind of put me down one time, which was Girl Meets World, but there's actually, I wrote back, I emailed a friend back, I said, at least there is, quote unquote, one female out there who I have hope for now. Hey, and you know what? That one person, I usually am one who focuses on the negative, but that one female is definitely gave me one speck of hope. So I have to thank her for that. And that's not an easy task to do because I'm probably the most pessimistic, most negative person that anybody will ever have to confront. And I felt really bad because this poor woman, she's like, she's basically trying to protest against these Nazi feminists and feminazis, as Rush would put it. And she's getting like brutally attacked by these women, ripping up her sign, standing in front of her, telling her that she is like basically acting too childish, which actually they are, not her. She's actually, she's able to see beyond. And she actually said that, this is, the more this is embedded, and I've said this before, maybe I'm not getting this correct because it was pretty long, but it was actually very informative. But I've said this before, the more you breed this into people's heads that women are always under attack and assault by men, even when it's, what do you call it? Consensual, it's still considered. Eventually a woman can turn around, and she said this, a woman can say it was consensual at first and then turn around and say, oh no, I didn't say that, and everyone will take the female side, not the guy side. And she said this and was like, wow, I can't believe there's somebody who actually thinks the way I do. I thought I was really more nuts than I already know I am. And she actually even said there was one time women can get away with this. They can lie about their age and then turn around and say, hey, I was underage and you just had sex with me. That's statutory rape, and they're going to take the female side. Now, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but do you really necessarily, if a girl walks into a bar, she's like 17 years old, and some guy who's 18 or 19 picks her up, and she says, oh, I'm actually 21, though, because she looks older. She dresses herself up. The guy gets in trouble, and he gets now Megan's Law slapped on him. Are you, every time you see a girl who seems attractive and does actually look of age, are you going to say, can I see your ID before I take you home? Probably not. But I think that was her point. So I'm trying to defend her because obviously she's already defended me. And obviously I'm going to defend anybody who defends my beliefs. Not that she knows me. She doesn't know who I am. But I just really appreciate that. So, hey, here's, a young, attractive woman who actually is trying. She's, hey, she's got a good head on her shoulders. And I have to apologize, by the way, because it was Hero of the Stupid for me. I got to look up her name now. I really, basically, I fucked up the other day on a story, and it was my own stupidity. So I gotta look for this story, basically. I don't want to get her name wrong. I think it was Laura Ingram, having cancer. So, and I fucked up because I didn't look at it properly. And it said she had testicle cancer. I was like, oh, it's like one of those things you're not thinking. You're speaking before you actually thought out what the thing said. So let me see, because I really like her. I think she's really hot too. So I'm putting it in because, and plus I just love her because she's like a very ultra. Yeah, I'm probably getting her name wrong. Actually, it says Laura Ingram had breast cancer survivor. So maybe I got the wrong person. But that's why I need to. I got to find this now because I felt like such an ass after I said this. So give me a minute. I'm not going to pause just to find this. But I will find what I made a mistake on. And I just had another story popped up. No puns intended. Actually, it was another one I have in my mix of stories, by the way, which was kind of depressing. But that a friend and I had this discussion the other day with Ann Coulter. Wow, I was really off. Yeah, somebody actually was being really sarcastic, and that's the one. Laura Ingram's really cute too. But no, I love Ann Coulter. I think she's like super hot. And like some people, like one friend will say, "Oh, she looks like a man baby." It's like, no, she looks like a hot looking woman. She's very intelligent. I'm not going to deny that she's hot looking. I mean, I'm not going to, just because she's actually, that's more to me. I find that more sexy with her because she is a ultra conservative. So, hey, I find that very attractive. And she is a very attractive and obviously a very intelligent woman. But yeah, some asshole 2 days ago said Ann Coulter diagnosed with testicle cancer. And it was just like a slap in the face. Not that it's going to affect her. I think she's not going to let some idiot take her down like this. But yeah, it was plastered all over the internet saying, oh, she has testicle cancer because she's actually was born with testicles. It was like, well, she does have balls, but doesn't mean she's not a woman. I mean, I'm using it theoretically, though, so don't take me wrong. So I just found somebody who is just that much of an idiot. And I was stupid enough. I looked at it. I just saw the word cancer, and right away I was like, oh, my God, Laura Ingraham has cancer now? Because, that's scary. I've had known people. I went off on a stray also. I just found out yesterday that last night, hours in between, I guess, not only did it was kind of freaky for me, if you live where I do, but not only did David Bowie pass away, but my next door neighbor, he's suffered cancer for the longest time. He just passed away yesterday. And it's funny because his first name is Dan or Danny, and his last name is Hickey. And I felt really bad. I just was too ashamed to, there were like literally a yard or like 3 yards from my house is their house. And I just felt too ashamed because I never talked to these people. I don't want to go up and say, oh, okay, now I'm going to talk to you or, give my grievance, say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're to the woman next door, your husband passed away, because that would be like the wrong thing to do. Okay, you never talk to me. Now all of a sudden, you find that it's okay to talk to me because, your husband passed away. No, I'm not that type of person. I would just feel like a dick for doing that. So anyway, yeah, I honestly, I would. I'd feel horrible just doing that. So I decided just to not say anything. I will go to the funeral, once it comes around, and I'll say something. And I don't feel like I need to, I feel wrong if I would do, just go over and, I never talked to these people for years, and all of a sudden it doesn't feel right. I felt uncomfortable doing that. So anyway, it was like, okay, maybe God's going in an alphabetical order, and anybody whose name starts with, or first name starts with a D, I'm taking you right now, because they both died the same night. So that was what's kind of strange to me. So, it was a heart loss thing, because my next door neighbor, I actually hadn't spoken to him in years, but he knew a lot about computers. He actually worked at the place that I technically still work at. He was, but he's like a computer technician or something, or some type of engineer. So, and he retired years ago, and I think that was hard on him, because usually when you retire and you don't have anything to look forward to or anything planned out, then it just becomes more difficult, and you kind of do, it's common, but he actually had cancer too. So I felt bad for both my next door neighbor and obviously David Bowie, which I don't know either one of them that well, minus the one lived right next door to me. So a friend just sent me this. I don't want to bring too much doom and gloom, even though I do on all my stories. I don't know where he found this, but it was on fox29.com from my friend Todd. Shoplifter bites off Walmart worker's finger while stealing condoms and lube. Yeah, that was tonight. There was actually, tonight I went over to the Subway right around my house. I've been trying to eat very sensibly lately. And I go over there, and they had the news on, one of them, not Fox. It was one of the local channels. And there was another robbery in in Philadelphia, where somebody got shot and killed in the process, like another robbery. It's like, okay, so our economy is doing so great. That's why every single day there's a new robbery, and people getting shot and killed. Somebody got stabbed in Lansdale just the other day on Sunday. I mean, it's just ridiculous, this stuff. Anyway, this story says, Inside Edition, a South Carolina woman was arrested Sunday after police say she had bit off part of a Walmart employee's finger as the worker tried to stop her from stealing assortments of condoms, panties, and sexual lubricant. Now, I'm looking at the picture of this woman. Now, here's one of these cases. You look at it, they say she's a woman. I'm not even kidding. She looks like she's 12 years old. But they're calling her a woman. I don't know what her age is, but she's stealing condoms, lubricant, and panties. And I'm not even kidding. She looks, it says Myrtle Beach Police. She looks, by the picture, the mugshot, she looks like a 12-year-old. I'm not even joking. According to police in Myrtle Beach, Carolina, Caroline Wright concealed about $40 worth of merchandise on her person and attempted to flee the store. Now, get this, but she does look 12. I'm not even joking. If you see the picture, she looks like a 12-year-old. It says when the 23-year-old made for the door, the female loss prevention officer employed by Walmart went after her. So she looks like she's 12, but she's actually 23. That's even more scary than what I've said about these younger girls looking older. Police say that the undaunted Wright punched one of the employees in the head and bit the other's finger so hard that part of it came off. That's pretty disturbing. Wright then fled the store, and according to the report from the Myrtle Beach police, she allegedly also punched a customer in the face after she tried to call 911. Police arrived as Wright and a 71-year-old van driver who told police that he had no idea what Wright had allegedly done inside the store were blocked from driving away by a bystander. So according to the Smoke and Gun, the driver told police Wright had gone into the store to make a purchase and that when she returned, she demanded multiple times for him to drive. The victim, whose finger was bitten off, was rushed to the hospital, but the finger could not be reattached, according to police. So that's a shame. You lost a finger over some idiot who was stealing, sexual paraphernalia or whatever. Wright now faces first-degree assault and battery charges. According to the Smoke and Gun, Sunday, after altercations wasn't Wright's first. Her name is Wright, by the way, so Wright. So it's pretty funny. So when I say they weren't right, but her name is Wright. In March, Wright was then an employee as a stripper, pleaded guilty to assaulting a fellow dancer with a clear plastic high heel shoe. So not only does she look like she's literally looks like a 12-year-old, she was also a stripper as well. So that just makes me question people's thoughts that you got some stripper who's 23 but looks like a 12-year-old. Wright was sentenced to 6 days in jail in order to pay a fine of $173.90. I love the way she assaulted somebody else and she gets like this minimal charge against her. So, and then you question people that, about sex offenders. Well, here you go. She looks like a kid. For more stories and videos, please visit Inside Edition. And don't forget to watch Inside Edition at 6:30 p.m. I don't understand people, once again. But I did like that first story I read. Not this one, I mean. What was going to say? I put her up a couple times. Anyway, this was pretty funny. I found this. I love Joe the Plumber. You haven't heard of him much. You will see a lot of his stuff on Facebook, too, though. USA crime statistics of 2015. Now, this is like one of these little statistic charts, and it says blacks killed by whites, 2%. Blacks killed by police, 1%. Whites killed by police, 3%. Whites killed by whites, 16%. Whites killed by blacks, 81%. Blacks killed by blacks, 97%. There's a reason for me mentioning that, and I don't need to say why. you can kind of figure out where I'm going with that one. Different story, different topic. I saw this actually after I got off, and it got me at first. It was from Movie Pilot. Once again, it's one way to get you to read their webpage. It was titled Great Scott, Christopher Lloyd Keen for Back to the Future Part 4. Anyway, not that they're going to ever do a Part 4, because obviously Michael J. Fox has his issues. It would be kind of difficult for him to do a part like that again. And also, I did not notice, the man looks actually pretty good for his age. Christopher Lloyd is actually 77 years old, but if he was offered to do another Back to the Future, he would definitely do so. But unfortunately, it's the same thing. I would say, please, as much as I love these actors, and I don't know if I told you, for once I actually said no, by the way, but Michael J. Fox is coming to Philadelphia to the WizardCon this year, and it cost a measly $700 just to get a photograph of him. So guess what? I'm not going to go do it. For once, I actually told my friend, he sent me a link to it, my friend Todd. I said, this is just ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I've spent a lot of money getting autographs and photographs from people. But for one thing, WizardCon takes the worst pictures of you, and they charge you really exuberant amount of money. And it's like, okay, this is one time. I got to put my foot down that this is just beyond ridiculous. $700 just to get a photo with Michael J. Fox. Now, I know their excuse is going to be, well, you know, this is going to go towards charity. It's going to go towards looking for a cure for what he has, that disease that he suffers with. And you know what? That's a bunch of bullshit. So that's going to go to the comic book company and probably in Michael J. Fox's pocket. And I love the man, but unless he's going to offer me some sexual favors, I'm being sarcastic, by the way, or they give me a free Nike mags, they can go fuck themselves, because there's no fucking way I'm going to give that man that kind of money. I did it for Pat Benatar and her husband. I must say Pat Benatar's wife. Pat Benatar and her husband. That was $500, and that was just really ridiculous. So, yeah. So, bottom line, there is no way in hell. And let me repeat myself. There is no way in hell that I will pay that kind of money to, to see Michael J. Fox. But I'm sorry, I got distracted again, so I apologize. I mean, I paid $500 for, and that was really, I was biting tooth and nail. But you know what? I made it into a 3-day excursion. I made it into, okay, well, that is kind of pricey, but yeah, I'll make it into a mini vacation. I will bite the bullet, and I will just basically what can I say? I will go see Pat Benatar and her husband. You know, it'd be kind of fun, or get me out of the house, a little bit for a couple days. And I really enjoyed it. I actually had fun. I met up with my one friend from work, Rachel, her name is, and we kind of hung out, me and her friend, and we had a blast. We really did. We had a really fun time. But the bottom line was, so I had some fun, but this is like going to a comic book convention where I'm going to be wasting more than $500 on shit. And then, you know what? I'm just going to be miserable. Because every time I go to these, actually, they always say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Well, they fooled me more than 2 times. They fooled me a plethora of times. And every time I leave aggravated from these WizardCons, maybe I'll go for a day thing and I'll walk by, because for instance, they did some number where of all people, Burt Reynolds actually came to the Comic-Con. It was like, why the fuck did they have Burt Reynolds at a Comic-Con? That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. I mean, I love the man, and he was charging a lot. And it actually hit the news because the local news was like, this weekend was last year. This weekend at the PhillyCon, we have WizardCon. We had Burt Reynolds. It was on the news. It was in the papers. It was like, oh my God, this is great. This is better than sliced bread. The same man who did Deliverance and Cannonball Run and many other movies is in Philly at a comic convention. Makes no sense. But yeah, I walked by. I saw him. I was like, hey, this is cool, and I let it go. I mean, it's bad enough spending $30, $40, $50 to get an autograph from somebody. And back in the old days, you spend no more than $10 or $15. You got an autograph, and that was a lot of money. But $700, that's a whole weekend for me. That's a trip down to, I was going to say Covington, Georgia again. That would be 3/4 of my cost to take a trip or go down the Jersey Shore for a week. So, yeah, forget that. And trust me, my one friend, Matt, will just doubt that which he's right in the past, and 99.9% of the time, that I don't have, what do you call it? I'm trying to think of the correct word. Like, I'll cave in. I'll basically cave in. Well, you know what? This is one time. Yeah. No, it's not going to happen. So that's just ridiculous. Why did I cave in with the other ones? Because I spent like $200 or $300 before on other ridiculous things. Well, because the number just keeps on increasing. First it was $100, then it was $200, then it was $300, then it was $400, then it was $500. Now you're trying to push for the grandiose over $700 just to get somebody's autograph and get a photo where your eyes are going to be shut or you look like some fucking retard. And they think that's feasible to hand somebody off when you just spent $700 for a photo that looks like total dog shit. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. Anyway, I'm going back to this story about Sherlock because I'm going to beat this dead horse until it comes back to life. Radio Times put that Sherlock, the Abominable Bride, is the most watched program across all channels over a festive period with 11.6 million viewers. Period installment of Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman favored as the highest audience share for Sherlock episode ever. So, yeah. And this was over the New Year's Day special. The Abominable Bride was the most watched program over the Christmas period with a total of 11.6 million viewers. And it is under the Masterpiece Theater in the U.S. now. Because, yeah, they're kind of, because that's what it used to put these shows on. Yeah, I just don't understand why, though. The episode had a 40.2% share, viewer share watched. And it was like, this show was what I was mentioning, which I think that woman I was mentioning about in the beginning of the show would agree with. This is just one of these war on women bullshit things that they added into the show. They kind of slightly did, like I mentioned, on Girl Meets World, but they kind of also corrected themselves as well. So once they did that, I was like, okay, I forgive you kind of thing. Kiss and make up from Walter with my imaginary TV show it's a real TV show, but my imaginary friends on that TV show, the writers. Anyway, I posted this. Kevin Smith put it up tonight. He is going back to Sundance now to promote his film with his kid and another lefty celebrity's daughter. Sorry, I had something in my nose. And that is, oh, God, Johnny Depp's daughter. And it actually looks like I've been waiting for this movie to come out, but he's going to first show it at Sundance. And it's called Yoga Hosers. That was supposed to be the next film actually being released from Kevin Smith. So I've been looking forward to this for a while. You know, it's a film with, like, basically, I guess, his daughter and who did I just mention? Johnny Depp's daughter are basically going to be following the footsteps of their fathers, or at least Kevin Smith, of being store clerks who are just not happy with their job. But this time it's in Canada, too. He has some big hang up with Canada. So do I, but his really goes deeper than mine. So I thought that was pretty interesting, though. A friend had posted this story. I thought it was kind of weird, my friend Todd. I don't know where he finds this stuff, because this is actually Channel 2 WGRZ.com, and it says frozen car along Lake Erie. So much for that global warming, huh? The car is like literally encrusted completely under a block of ice practically. Hamburg, New York, the combination of high winds and cold temperatures and still unfrozen Lake Erie spelled trouble for the owner of a car parked outside Hork Lake Shore restaurant on Sunday afternoon. By Monday morning, the little Mitsubishi Bishi had been turned into an ice sculpture from the spray of water. It quickly became a bit of a tourist attraction as folks passing by stopped to snap a picture of the frozen car. So it is like literally completely iced up. Like not just a little bit, it's under a block of ice all the way around the car. And there's no way you're going to be moving that car until summertime at this point. So I thought it was pretty entertaining at the same time. Friend sent me this story. This seems to be a continuing problem. It was from the Morning Call. It's in Pennsylvania. I didn't realize that's where they shot. I'm speaking about Silence of the Lamb. PA couple struggles to sell the Silence of the Lamb house. So I remember hearing about this a while back. It had been going up on sale, but it's still on the market. Perry Palois, PA, Pennsylvania couple is struggling to sell the house used at home of psychotic killer Buffalo Bill in the 1991 film of Silence of the Lambs. Scott and Barbara Lloyd listed the house last summer, but they've been dropping and asking a price from $300,000 to $250,000. The three-story Victorian Leighton was the second most clicked home on Realtors.com last year, but Scott Lloyd told the Pittsburgh Tribune Review that the publicity has attracted curious seekers but no serious buyers. So the home location is in a teeny village about an hour drive southeast of Pittsburgh. Works against it, too. So I guess it's the middle, literally, of nowhere. Well, you want to kind of, when you do these films, you kind of do want them isolated so that way you don't get a lot of disturbance when you try to shoot. So that's probably... So it was great for the house, but actually not really, because now they're trying to sell this house and hoping that the fame of the movie that continues would help sell this house. But it has not. It's actually been very difficult. It's got curious buyers, like I said, but nobody has budged or willing to buy a house that's like an hour from town. So anyway, there's more. I'm not going to bother people with that. One I actually liked reading, First Look, Adventures of Supergirl comic cover debuts exclusive. See the debut artwork for DC digital comic spinoff from the CBS series, because I really like the actress. She actually was from Glee, and I never watched the last couple seasons of the show. I love that show when I was watching it, though. I haven't continued to watch it. Fans waiting for more adventures of Kara Danvers will get their wish starting this next week when DC Entertainment launches Adventures of Supergirl, a digital comic companion to the CBS superhero series. So apparently they were first talking about canceling the show. Now it's like became, probably because I've told people you need to watch this if you love, comic book TV shows, and turn some people on. So I think it's by word of mouth that actually made the show very popular now. But I think now it's started that they're going to do a graphic novel on the character. I mean, not the character, but the actress who plays the character. Theirs has an exclusive reveal that the artist Kat Stoggs cover for the first issue. Kat is one of the characters. Quote unquote, I am beyond thrilled to be writing Supergirl again. Writer Sterling Gates, who 2008 through 2011 run of DC Entertainment character was both critically acclaimed and a source material for elements of the CBS show, told THR on the project. Supergirl is one of my all-time favorite characters. I think she's one of DC's best characters, period. And I'm extremely honored when DC and the producers of CBS hit television show asked me to write the adventures of Supergirl. So that's like actually really cool. Now that's funny because I remember back a couple years ago I was watching Melissa Joan Hart when she that was actually longer than that. She actually did this show called Sabrina the Witch based upon a graphic novel as well. Basically, it really was a comic book. The Archie comic books, actually. They made this thing called, what I just mentioned, Sabrina the Witch. And the show became so popular, it was a comedy based upon the comic books, that they actually did a series of comic books with Melissa Joan Hart as Sabrina the Witch. So now they're doing it with Supergirl. So that's actually like really cool. That is like really, really cool. Anyway, that being said, official Creed director Ryan Coogler will direct Marvel's Black Panther, another superhero movie. This one will be with quote unquote, I believe, because Black Panther is a black guy. So this time this is going to be pretty interesting. And it's supposed to be a really good character too, from what I understand. So for those who like that, I was on comicbookmovie.com. After weeks of speculation, Marvel has finally confirmed that Creed director Ryan Coogler will direct the studio upcoming Black Panther, which will star Chadwick Boseman as the King of Wakanda. Come check it out. The film hits theaters February 16th, 2018. So it's like a year from like next month. But either way, it looks pretty cool. They're not being politically correct because that's the way the character is written. So that's really neat. And I actually will look forward to that one. And it's funny because Creed actually, my parents seen it. They said it, my mother at least said it was really good. Very emotional. And it was actually shot within Philadelphia because, once again, because he is more of, it's not as prevalent, but he is known, what do you call it? Oh God, the guy who used to play Rocky is known for being a director. He's really is a director. He acts in a lot of different things, but he's more of a director. So hey, I forgot his name. What did I say? And I'm looking it up because I'm that bad. Sylvester Stallone. So yeah, Sylvester Stallone is pretty much he is more. So he is a director, if I remember correctly, but he's best known for his acting. But yeah, he's also a, so to speak, a director. But not that he directed Creed, but yeah, the original Rocky, he was more responsible than he basically acted in his own film, if I remember correctly on that one. Not important. Anyway, I'm waiting for this to actually be changed into a movie film. This next story that I have up, and it was from comicbook.com. Batman: The Killing Joke to include new scenes will premiere at Comic-Con. Memory so treacherous. Batman: The Killing Joke is headed to San Diego Comic-Con, according to executive producer Bruce Timm. In a recent interview with the Con TV, Tim revealed that the film will include additional scenes that weren't in the original graphic novel. Now, that graphic novel, by the way, is definitely geared towards, I know it's a comic, a graphic novel, whatever. It's very adulterated. There is sex, violence, I think even rape, some type of basically Batgirl gets beaten, and I understand probably even her back broken. So it's not exactly something you're going to take your 13-year-old to go see. In an interview with Con TV, Bruce Timm spoke about the upcoming DC animated film, Batman, The Killing Joke. Well, they're actually supposed to make it into a real movie, too, if they were talking about it. The Killing Joke is a 1988 graphic novel that tells the story of the Joker's origins while tragically befalls a member of the Bat family. It was announced in 2015 that DC would create an animated film version of the graphic novel, and that Bruce Timm would be the executive producer of this project. But again, the guy who's playing the Joker in the new movie coming out next year of the Suicide Squad, they're actually they're considering him to play in a live action film of The Killing Joke. In an interview, Timm reveals that the film will include origin scenes to add enough story for a complete film. Could this mean that they added in Harley Quinn? Timm also revealed that the film will be premiering at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. What do you think about it? The Killing Joke having new scenes. Are you excited to see the graphic novel into an animated form? Once again, I've heard they were actually considering it with Jared Leto, I think his name is. He's a good actor. They want to probably, once again, I think they eventually are going to make it into, from what I heard, into an actual live action film. Well, this was actually a very simple night. Again, doing podcasts every night is really difficult for me. I know when I started out that way, kind of, and then I just kind of you know what, these are getting very boring for even myself, and I kind of weaned down, but there was enough information, enough news segments that it wasn't that difficult for me to do. So everyone, very simple. Last night was less than an hour. Obviously tonight will be the same way. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I had no interruptions, so thank goodness for that. And for those who do listen in, that's great. I appreciate that. Get other people to listen if you can. I am trying to set something up. This is going to really be out in left field if I actually get this done successfully. But I was hoping probably maybe for my birthday. I usually try to do something, try to get away. I was going to try to make a visit to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, where I got to figure out because the guys who are on that TV show, Comic Book Men, actually run the store, and that's where they actually shoot the TV show. So I was going to say, hey, can I talk to you guys? Can I do a podcast? I would love to do, at least one of the guys. I think he would be willing to do it. I know for a fact that probably Walt Flanagan will probably give a hard time. He's actually the manager of the store. He will probably give me a hard time. But there's somebody actually else who runs the store with Walt that I don't think would give me a hard time. And I'm trying to look for his name because I'm not actually familiar with everybody on that show. But yeah, Kevin Smith comes out to obviously do those episodes. Says the people actually on the show, they said is Kevin Smith, Ming Chen, and Walter Flanagan, Brian Johnson, and Mike Zapek. Mike, actually, he's a really nice guy. I would think he wouldn't give me a hard time if I would at least talk to him. But again, nothing is etched in stone at this point. I haven't gone out or made any plans to do this yet. I'm afraid just if I call and Walt will answer the phone, obviously, that I will be led to that, no, you can't do this. Because the problem is I would have to pick a day that they're not busy. Because by picking a busy day, other people see, or I give other people the idea that, hey, wait, this is a good idea. Why haven't I thought about, sorry, I'm pointing down. I'm just making a comment on Facebook. It's going to eventually lead that other people are going to like come with the same idea, and then eventually Walter Flanagan is going to get pissed off. It's like, wait, now I can't even run my store, because he gets very short-tempered. I've noticed. I've kind of noticed that, like, just by his body language, just the way he comes off. But if his story is just filled with people stopping him and stopping the business, and if I pick like a weekend, that will never happen again. So I'd rather just do it as a surprise thing. Hey guys, can I bring in my equipment? Can I ask you a few questions, and I will be out of here, and I'll buy something. I'd rather do that when, unexpectedly. I think that way, maybe they will give me a benefit of the doubt. So, So you know what? I'm going to end with that. Sorry, I found something funny. I just put it on my Facebook page. Somebody put on The Force Awakens, and it's this cat with two. They drew it in somehow with CG. A cat is fighting with two dogs, but he's holding two lightsabers and fighting off two dogs at the same time. I think it's hilarious. Hey, I'm easily amused. What can I say? So anyway, thanks for listening to me. I'm signing off. I'm sorry for pesting anybody who was forced to listen to me. Hopefully it's not that painful, but thanks if you are. And I will talk to everyone later. I'm signing off for now, and have a good evening. This is Walter from iWalter. Yes, that's what I was trying to tell you, you dummy. Okay, thanks a lot. Have a good evening. Good morning, actually.